Hi everyone, it's your girl here, Ada B, and welcome back to Let's Talk. Before we get into anything, guys, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up, you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of when we upload. I always say when we, who is we? It is me, when I upload next here on this channel. If you're interested in talking on anything from faith to relationships, earth, science, whatever else, this is the place you want to be every single Friday, because I am just bringing up the most uncomfortable topics in a respectful way, but I'm just going to share my opinion and I want to hear yours. So if that's your kind of content, make sure that you're subscribed and also make sure that you follow the socials at Talk to Data B for more updates on what we do across the platform. Without further ado, let's get into it. So today I'm going to be talking about, as you can see from the title, weight. Now, most of my life, most people that will know me, I've always been a slim babe. Never wore bigger than a size 8. And then I reached my mid-20s and things just started to change. My body started to fill out a little bit more. I already had a little figure going on, but you starts putting a little bit more weight and it was cute. I went up to a size 10 and I stayed at a size 10 for years. And then the pandemic hit and I went up to a size 12. And I stayed at a size 12 for quite some time. By the time we came out of that pandemic, child, I was a full-on 14. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I've felt the most attractive as I've put on weight, because when I was younger and slimmer, which is pretty much all my life up until the last 3 years, I had body dysmorphia. Didn't know it was body dysmorphia, but I genuinely used to look in the mirror and feel repulsed by what I saw. And I'm not even going to go into that right now as to, the kind of making up of how we got there. But just know that when I looked in the mirror, in that body that you're going to see on the screen in a minute, used to feel like a size 20. I used to feel like I was the fattest thing walking planet Earth. Tell me how that makes sense. You've seen that picture. Let me bring it up again just so that you can see it again. You see it? Okay. Now tell me how that makes sense. But I was so uncomfortable in my body. Like, I cannot express to you the level of discomfort, the things I tried to do to my body. But then as I got older, like I said, as I started to fill out and put on weight, I was like, I'm kind of feeling this. I kind of feel grown. I kind of feel sexy. I was like, I like this. I like this. And the only part of it that I didn't really like was, when my face started to fill out and my stomach. That's when I was like, okay.
Cut. Time out.
That's what I'm like, oh, okay. We've gone a bit too far now. We've gone a little bit too relaxed. And it's probably time to just like hit the reset. Let's take it back a few inches. Let's take it down a few sizes. And that's kind of where I'm in my journey now. But I'm doing it from a place of love, not from a place of I have to lose weight in order for me to feel good. I feel really beautiful in my body as I am right now. In my immediate family, I'm the only one who likes me this size. Not my brother, not my mother, not my father, child likes me being this size. Because to be honest, to be fair to them, it's a massive change. It's a massive change for me too. But the first time I realized I've really put on weight, I was like, who's that? When I looked at a picture of me, I was like, what? When I saw a video of me, I said, what's going on? I said, oh my gosh, I'm actually getting fat. Because even though I used to call myself fat, even though I clearly wasn't fat, so I just thought, you know what? I'm always just going to be this size. And I don't know why, but the thought of that was so depressing. Now that I'm actually a completely different size, it's a whole different thought process. I don't feel this urgency to lose weight. I want to, because obviously I'm in the camera a lot and I don't want things to be over exaggerated more than they are. I still want to look good in real life as much as I do on screen. That's just a fact of life based on everything I do. So I don't want to push it, and get myself too far on the other side where it's going to be even harder to get back down. But what I like about this is that even though I'm much bigger than I was and bigger than I ever thought I could ever be, I am so comfortable in my body and skin. And I'm not even on this body positivity stuff. It's not even on that vibe. I think the key thing about why I'm so comfortable about where I am is because I've actually accepted who I am at this stage in my life. You see, for a long time, part of the reason why I couldn't stand my skinny self back then is because I wasn't happy with where I was, period. I wasn't happy where I was in life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationships, friendships. I was miserable. And so my reflection only reminded me of how miserable I was, how unhappy I was, how depressed I was. That's all it did. So I didn't want to see myself reflected because it was just the reminder I didn't want. I already knew I'm dealing with it, I'm living it. Now, why have I got to go and see my reflection of how what I'm living like is looking like on me? I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean? But now, because one, I'm content with where I am, I'm content with who I am, and I am excited about where I'm going, I'm hopeful for the future. I love looking at myself because when I look at myself, I can see that life has been good to me. I can see that the Lord has favored me. I can see that I am blessed. There's tangible proof. I mean, clearly, the Lord has been providing and feeding me. There's no doubt about that. But I genuinely have joy. And so, while on the one hand, I'm looking forward to trimming down and getting back into some of my old clothes, I'm also just so happy that I'm so happy about where I am right this minute, right now. I've been this size now for the last 2 years. And I thought I would be like straight out of the pandemic, straight back into the gym. And I did. And then I stopped. And then I went back and then I stopped. And then I, opted for the food plans because, I couldn't really cook, like work and just doing everything that I do, performing, creating content, editing. There was literally no time to cook. Like literally when I get in, and it's usually like already 1 a.m, I am shattered. I'm not thinking about preparing a meal for tomorrow. So once I get that meal plan delivered to me, I know that I've got food ready to just heat up and eat at whatever time that needs to be, right? And then again, I started this year, last year, strong as well. And then I stopped during the summer, and then I started again at the beginning of autumn, and then I stopped. And I was just like, but am I healthy? Am I healthy? Is my body good? Yes, I've put on weight and things have changed. I've had to get some new clothes. Things are a little bit tighter than they were before. Okay, I'm healthy. We thank the Lord. Amen. So my body is good. Am I okay mentally, physically? Am I okay mentally, spiritually? Am I living my purpose? Okay, I'm on the right track. Okay, then life is good. Now, everything else that comes around that isn't as urgent. It's important. And I think these are the words that helped me. Do you know what's so funny? I'm just going to bring this up really quickly because actually it was a training I did at my job, one of my previous jobs, and I don't know, the training to me was so good. I don't know if anybody else really walked away feeling as like motivated, but it really, really changed my frame of mind. It was supposed to help with the work we were doing, but for me, with those kind of trainings, I always implement them into my day-to-day life if I've really found them impactful. And that one, I really found it impactful. If I can find the name of it again, I'm gonna just put it down here because it might be something that you want to do. It was like I think 2 hours or 3 hours, and obviously it was work-based training, so we're doing it at work. But I just found what the lady was teaching just so amazing. It literally just, it's one of those things that just kind of changes your paradigm. It just changes the way you view things. And it was understanding the meaning of words, one, because words have meaning. And I think like in today's world, we forget that words have meaning, but words have meaning, right? And I don't want to deviate too much, so I'm just going to explain this quickly and then jump back into what I was talking about before. But understanding the meaning of the word urgent and important, understanding what those two mean. And I'm going to just read them on screen to you, and I'll read them to you, and then but I'll also have the description on screen as well. So if we look at the meaning of the word urgent, okay, requiring immediate action or attention. Okay, so that's the meaning of urgent. Compelling or requiring immediate action or attention, dire, pressing, an urgent matter, insistent or earnest in solicitation, importunate as a person, an urgent pleader. Okay, so that's the meaning of urgent. Now let's look at the meaning of the word important. Okay, so important means of great significance or value, having high rank or status, significantly original and influential. Okay. And these are essentially just Google definitions. I just took the first two that came up. Okay, so those are the meanings of those words. And one of the things that she was trying to explain to us is there are things in life, okay, that are urgent. There are things, well, not in life, but in our line of work. There are things in our line of work that will be urgent. Okay, they require immediate attention. There'll be things in our work that are important, okay, that are of great value. And there'll be things in our work that are both urgent and important, which means they're both require immediate attention and are of high value. Now, your role is to assess in your work where your tasks fall in. Like I said, some will have intersection, some will intersect, but some will literally just be things that are urgent. And once they're dealt with, they go away. And some things will be important, which means it could be something that's ongoing and needs to be done on an ongoing basis because it's of high value and it has an impact to your role, to the business. And some things will intersect where something might come up that's urgent, that requires immediate attention because it actually affects your role or the business, which means that it's also something of importance, of high value. Okay. So when I was thinking about that in terms of life, I thought to myself, what is urgent? What are the things that Ada needs to take care of right now in her life in order to make sure that she can stay on track to do the things that she's supposed to do tomorrow and henceforth? And then what are the things that are important, that are of high value, that don't necessarily require immediate attention, but probably just need gradual input, gradual consideration? Can't be forgotten and put to the wayside, but also don't need to be attacked right now. And one of those things I realized was weight. For me, weight was one of those things I realized, in the last 2 years, I was like, I definitely do want to lose weight because, like I said, I'm on camera, I'm being seen a lot, and I want to make sure that I look as good in person as I do online. That's just true. However, is it urgent? No. And that's why I go back to what I was saying before. Am I healthy in terms of my physicality? Yes. Okay. Am I healthy in mind and spirit? Yes, I am. Okay. Am I fulfilling purpose? Yes, I am. Okay. Then everything else can work around those. Because when you have health and you have life and you're good, that means that there is hope. Because we all know that when you're unwell and you're unhealthy in mind, body, spirit, then it becomes extremely hard to do anything. But there are people that genuinely have a disliking and even a borderline disgust to people who are of a certain weight, particularly if they're of a certain race. And I say this because the darker your tone becomes, okay, the more people have to say about you being overweight. And the more people vocalize their disdain and their disgust. And a lot of that is internalized because in our homes, that's how our parents talk. Now, we know maybe our parents don't mean no harm by it, but there are some parents who definitely mean harm by it. But there's some parents that actually don't mean harm by it. They just want you to feel and look good. But I'm telling you I feel and look good. Why is me telling you I feel and look good not enough? You go out into society, you're feeling good and you're happy. They'll make comments about your clothing. They'll make comments about where you sit, etc., etc., etc. And I always sit back and I'm like, wow. I have to be honest, I have not been on the receiving end of those kind of comments. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like that's my story. It's not. But I did become more conscious of the way people talk about weight once I put on weight. All I'm saying is, what's urgent and what's important? If your weight is genuinely affecting your health, absolutely make it your life's priority to lose the weight. Absolutely. Don't let it affect your quality of life. No, 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 no. And I think we shouldn't be shamed out of these discussions because someone's going to call you fat phobic. No, let's have a real conversation. There are times where being overweight has serious implications on your health. And in that case, it should be a matter of urgency that you do something about it. It's not going to be easy. Now, nobody's saying that, but there is support. And it's important that you see it as something that's both urgent and important. Because once you've taken care of the immediate issue, it now needs to be an ongoing life change. You need to see it as something so important that if you slip up, there is a possibility of you going backwards, which you don't want to do, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you become disabled and or worse, develop diseases or cancers, or worse, pass away. So I think let's not be in denial. Let's be real that sometimes with increased weight, there are health complications. But also let's look on the other side. With severely decreased weight, there are other medical issues and implications with that. I have friends who are like this and are seriously sick. They couldn't put on weight even if they tried. But when you look at them, you would never assume this person is ill. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if more people said to them, how do you stay so slim? These times they're suffering. They're like, oh, you want to know? Oh, I'll tell you. Just get this, 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 and this, or be born with this, 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 and this. And I promise you, you'll stay skinny forever. Oh, you thought I was going to give you some kind of like meal plan, some kind of fitness routine. No. You're going to say, you thought I was just going to say genetics. Well, it might be in this case. The sickness could be hereditary. But it's just interesting that as a society, as we progress, we almost don't progress. It's almost as if as we progress, we regress. It's like the more advanced and enhanced things become, the more we become quote unquote aware, actually the more unaware that we are, or the more intolerable that we are. I'm going to lose weight before your very eyes. You're going to see the transformation. You are, because I'm actively putting in the work in how I eat, in how I exercise, and everything. And I'm already seeing the difference in a lot of the way where I wear my clothes and things like that. But it was very important to me that when I decided to start my weight loss journey, that I did it in my own terms. No one was going to pressure me there. As much as I have these 3 people that I love dearly in my ear, talking about weight every other opportunity they can when they see me, and I know they don't mean bad by it, I said, I pray one day you guys find peace with where I am right now, because I have so much peace that you can say these things from morning to morning and it won't encourage me to get up off my feet and do something. The only thing that makes me get up and do something about it is because I want to see a change that positively impacts the image of me that's out there. That's it. It's not because it's a matter of urgency. We thank God for that. But it's because it's important to me at this stage of my life that I'm able to look and feel the way that I want to look and feel. Where God is giving me the opportunity to do so, why not take it? But not because you guys have been in my ear like this 24/7. And I'm sharing this because I want to encourage anybody who has put on weight significantly, lost weight significantly, whatever the reason is for that, that it's okay to do it on your terms, to work on it in your terms at your pace. If it's not something that requires immediate attention for your health, do it at your pace. Do it out of love for you. So I love myself so much and I love the way I look right now, but I really want to fit into that dress I wore 2 years ago. So I'm going to make it my goal so that my next event or this wedding or whatever, I can fit back in that dress. Do it because it's something that's going to add to your joy, not take from it. Because it's already hard work to lose weight. Putting it on is a breeze, it's no issue. But losing it is so hard that if you're also hard on yourself on top of that, you are going to have such a tough time doing it. It's going to be so hard. And it doesn't matter what society says about your body now. Oh, you've got a bit of a stomach or you've got back roll. Who cares? I'm not even being funny. Who actually gives a toss? With all my weight, the way people are complimenting me now, I'm thinking, was I ugly before? Because you never had all this energy for me before. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I was ugly, but the compliments now are times 5 of what I was getting back then. When, as far as I'm concerned, society says how I was back then is exactly how they want a woman to look like. But here I am, size 14 and all. My point being, the reason why I'm even mentioning that is because it just shows you how fickle people are and why you can't internalize people's opinions. Because I really thought that as I was putting on weight, more people would be like, oof, yeah, she's really lost it. And maybe some people are saying that behind my back. Oh, well. Oh, well. At least not to my face. At least not to my face. So you can't make such a big change in your life based on just what other people think of you about how you look. It starts with you, and it starts from within. You see, back then when I disliked my slim body and I thought I was so fat, I thought I was, when I was looking in the mirror, I was seeing myself like how I am now, and even though I wasn't, there was nothing I could do. I felt defeated because I was attacking my body with what I ate, with how much I exercised, and with even how I spoke to myself. So I was so unkind to myself. I expressed so much dislike for myself. There was no way I was going to have a healthy relationship with food, with exercise, or with me. Because the root of why I was doing what I was doing to my body was out of a place of hatred for it. So now that I'm on the other side of it and I'm doing it out of love, it's so much easier. I still know it's something that's important, but understanding that it's not something by God's grace that's not urgent for me to do means that I can spend my time doing a bit more research. I can look into different ways to cook and prepare meals that I can eat. I can look into different exercises. I can try out different things and I can have fun when I'm doing it all. It's exciting to me now. While before it was such, it felt worse than whatever a chore would feel like. You know, when you're a kid and you're given a chore and it just feels like the worst thing that you could be given. Now I look forward to it. I look forward to sitting down and watching people's stories. I look forward to investing in different meal kits and looking up into different ways of being fit, even if it means I can't make it to the gym. What can I do at home? What can I do in my community? Is there a local park? Do I have a skipping rope? All of these things. But I can do that now from a place of, let's try and make this more interesting. That's why I've been documenting it, because it's fun. I'm having a good old time doing it. I know when I reach my goal, whenever that is, I'm going to be happy. But the most important thing is that I'm happy even right now. That life isn't just passing me by right now because all I'm thinking about is this thing that I'm trying to obtain. No, I'm in the moment right now. I'm living my life right now and I'm loving it. And so as I achieve certain goals with my weight, with my dressing, all of that just adds to the joy. It makes life feel more richer, more fuller, more vibrant. And it might sound silly, but I promise you, when you establish a new relationship with you that's healthy, when your internal dialogue is speaking affirmations, is speaking the promises of God, is uplifting, encouraging, and empowering you, you are going to have such a boldness in how you approach everything that you do. And nobody's opinion, whether it's that they like it or they don't like it, is going to sway you because you have a focus and you have a goal. And while thank you for the compliment, or I'm going to ignore your insult or your backhanded compliment, you don't lose focus of where you're going. and it doesn't steal the fun, the joy in the process of trying to achieve that goal. So as you see me lose weight and I begin to share gradually over the year a bit of my fitness journey, I hope you will be encouraged and reminded that you're doing a great thing for wanting to look after your body, for wanting to be a size and weight that is comfortable for you and not what is comfortable for others to view. Two, I hope that it only adds to your joy, to your fun, to the dynamic of your life, that you get to try new things, pick up maybe even new sports, learn new tricks and skills, increase your flexibility, your agility, your mobility. And three, I hope it establishes or that it emphasizes or that it heightens or that it strengthens the relationship you have with yourself. For me, workout time is personal time. I really don't like being interrupted. I really mean that. Like, I typically don't necessarily like to go to the gym with a friend. I don't mind doing it sometimes. Sometimes it's really fun. But sometimes also, most of the time, really, I prefer going on my own because that's me time. It's about me, my body, and I. I'm in my zone. I'm having a good old time. And I'm going to share a quick story time, actually, as to why I had to keep stopping and going and stopping and going to the gym specifically, because unfortunately, sometimes we have to share the gym with people that are not precious about boundaries, personal space, and sometimes people who are just outright predatory. And so, unfortunately for me, in my experiences, I've had to change gym 3 times. I've moved to 3 different locations in my borough just to try and avoid being bothered while I am gymming. And I'm not talking about the bothered of, hi, you're right, I see you every once in a while, I come to the gym. Or, oh, by the way, you're not doing that right. Let me show you how it's supposed to be done. Or, hey, by the way, you just dropped something. Or, hey, by the way, do you want me to help you with the weights? I'll spot you. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about an outright invasion of my space. Talking to me like I've known you from somewhere. Waiting for me after my gym session. I'm talking about timing yourself based on when I come into the gym. Following me after I leave the gym. That's what I'm talking about. Don't get me wrong, I have considered women-only gyms. There was one that was actually supposed to open up near to where I live, and then it just never happened. I think because of the pandemic, because it was meant to open up around 2019, and they kept saying they were going to open it, and then I just think it just died. I realized that my nearest women-only gym is almost an hour away from me. And you want to think, girl, where do you live? None of your business. But it is. And it's quite expensive. More expensive than some of the other gyms I've been to, which offer way more. And it's far. So it's not convenient to get to and from. So I just thought to myself, I'm just going to have to think of something else that I can do in the meantime. And there's this really interesting initiative that's started, and I've only seen one of its kind. And if I can remember the name of it, I'm going to pop it up on here. But I've only seen one of its kind, and it's these self-contained gyms. Now, on the one hand, I'm like, that is someone like me who likes to be just me, my body, and I in the gym. That's my dream. You mean I can be on the treadmill? I can do the bike. I can do weights. I can do virtual classes in this self-contained room for as long as I want to book it for, and then go about my business. That's a dream. But I just kept thinking of all the things that could go wrong. I needed to know, is there CCTV there in there? Is there somebody at least on site? Because it's a 24/7 thing, so you can actually book anytime and go anytime. But I'm like, is there somebody on site at all times? If something goes wrong, it's giving kind of horror movie vibes a little bit. When I looked at the videos, I was like, on the one hand, I love this because you've got all the main equipment that I would personally would want to use. including the virtual classes, which I think is brilliant. And then it's in a self-contained space. It's big enough. It doesn't feel claustrophobic. It doesn't look as seem claustrophobic. Two, I don't know if it's monitored 24/7. You know, they always claim everything is 24/7 monitored, but I'm like, if there's not a physical person on site, that to me is a bit like, I don't want to be by myself in this lone building. That's just too creepy. How do I know no one else has access to where I'm going? You know, so it just raised a load of other questions. But then I was just thinking, you know what? All of these things, I just need to do a class every now and then and stick to my home workouts and walking. And that's literally what I've been doing. And it's probably the easiest, best decision I've made, because classes, I can go anywhere, any gym, anytime. I don't have to be subscribed. You just pay as you go. So if I want to do 4 classes that month or 10, I can. If I want to only do 1 that month, that's fine. But I can still work out at home. I can still do my walks. And I'm good. As long as I'm eating well. 2024, I just want us to ease into things personally. I'm like, in my opinion, let's just ease into it. Let's stop trying to force ourselves to always be on this grind and hustle for every single thing. Start with love. The love from God, the love for yourself, and then go forth. Because it will just feel that much easier to do. And I can't even lie to you. Every time you feel like, oh, I'm not really bothered, the way that motivation will just kick back in, the way that's that sense of, no, this is important, I have to get it done, let's go, will just kick in. You'll just kick into autopilot, where now it doesn't become a chore or a task. It just becomes a part of your day. It becomes the DNA of your existence, looking after your body, eating healthily, working out. Then anything you do on top of it, it just becomes fun. Oh, you want to do swimming classes? Oh, you want to do karate? Oh, you want to do capoeira? Whatever it might be. It won't feel like a chore or a task. It won't feel like this daunting thing I have to just get out of the way. It'll be something you actually look forward to. And this is something really and truly, if you're catching my flow, you can apply it to so many other things in life, so many other areas of your life. Just like the way I took that training that was supposed to be for my job, and I actually started applying it to my life. I started looking at, okay, Ada, what's actually urgent and what's important? Gosh, it just releases so much tension from your mind and from your body. And it just allows you to operate in a format of ease, of self-care, of love, of compassion, kindness to yourself. Because I'm not going to lie to you, sometimes it's a lot easier to be kinder to other people, especially when we're talking about weight and things like that, than it is to be to yourself. And I think that that will only last for so long, because it will start to weigh on you. You're like, well, I wish somebody would talk to me that way. I wish somebody would encourage me the way that I encourage other people. I'm so tired. I feel so defeated. I feel like I've done everything I could possibly do, and I'm not getting anywhere. How about the same way you lift up your friend, you lift up yourself? How about the same way you are so passionate about your friend's project, you're passionate about your own project? How about the same way you are the first to remind people to not give up on themselves? How about you remind you first not to give up on yourself? How about you start your day with the very things that you run out into the world and do for others, that lifts them up, that boosts them, and see how it boosts you and how it moves you. It's not cringy, it's not awkward, it's how it should be. Literally, in the 10 Commandments, this is why for me the Bible is one of my favorite things in the world. Because there isn't a scenario in life that you cannot learn from, that you cannot grow from, that you cannot move past from, with God's promises, with God's word, with God's love. There's just none. For every situation in my life, no matter how ridiculous it might even seem, I know there's a scripture in there that is going to speak to me in that situation. And it's going to give me the hope I need, the courage and strength I need to get through joyfully. Not just like get through like, oh, I'm barely making it. No, I mean, I'm going to get through it skipping along. Don't mean the fire ain't still going, but I know it's going to be put out very soon. The 10 Commandments literally says to love God first, right? Worship no other God or idol but him, right? And it follows directly by saying to love yourself as you love your neighbor. And there's actually another scripture later on in the Bible that says that when you actually love yourself as you love your neighbor, you've already fulfilled the law. To me, I think that is one of the most powerful scriptures that I read when I was rededicating my life to Christ and reestablishing his presence in my life. That when you love your neighbor as you love yourself, when you love, you have fulfilled the law. Wow. I don't even think there's so many ways to interpret that, but one of the ways that I interpreted that was it doesn't matter what I do in this life. Love, quite literally, conquers all. So even if I achieve everything I want to achieve, but there was no love in what I was doing when I was achieving it, it meant nothing. It means nothing. But if I do everything I'm supposed to do, fulfill my purpose, and I do it with love at the core, I have fulfilled everything that God has called me to do. Wow. And so I'm approaching it with love. I'm saying, thank you, God, for the body you've given me. It's healthy, it's beautiful, it's lovely. I might have abused it a little bit by putting on a bit of weight and not taking care of it with all the food I've been eating. But thank you, God, that you've spared me. You've been so gracious. I'm still so healthy and I'm still able to get out there and do something about it. Thank you, God. I'm going to take the time that you have given me on this earth to make a difference with how I look after my body. Thank you. Thank you, God. And like I said, right, Ada, I love you, girl. You're beautiful inside and out. God has really blessed you. It's time to focus on achieving this goal. You said you want to be this weight. You want to be this size. You said that you, by the next time you shoot this or you do this, that you want to be able to look like this. We're going to do it together, slowly, gently, carefully. We're going to learn new meals. We're going to cook new things. We are going to introduce new exercises and habits into our life that is going to make this such a fun and enriching experience. So you go, girl. I've got you. I love you. And we're going to have a fantastic time doing it. And I go out and I do it. Therefore, even when my parents are like, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. And society's like, don't lose weight, don't lose weight, don't lose weight. This is the best you've ever looked in your life. I love the weight on you. It looks good. You look, you look sexy, whatever, whatever. I'm like, excuse you. This is a Ada and God conversation. No offense, no ego involved here. This is just about doing what I know is right for me to do at this stage of my life and in my journey. And I want to do it with love. What you put in your body, not just food, but even in your mind and in your heart, how it just changes the way your body reacts and responds to everything that you do. It's amazing to me. It will actually never not fascinate me how complex humans are. And if we're not careful, the wrong things will start to dictate how we live and how our body and mind responds to us and to everything around us. And most times more than not, if we haven't already seen throughout 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, child, it's never positive. It's never for the better. It's almost always for the worst. So we need to be really careful. Yes, if weight loss is your goal or weight gain is your goal, good. Let it be. That's fine, no problem. But make sure the reason you're doing that is because that's what's in you to do. I always found it wild when JoJo said in one of her interviews when she was talking about, when she was in her labor and she was coming up, and one of the reasons why they felt like they couldn't continue to push her or promote her was because they felt that she was overweight. Overweight, JoJo. Did we see JoJo back then? This was a teenager. 14, 15, 16. They said she was overweight. What was a 16-year-old supposed to look like? To me, JoJo was the most realist representation of a young person.
I ended up getting put with a nutritionist that had me on a 500 calorie a day diet. I was like, let me see how skinny I can get, because maybe then they'll put out an album. Maybe I'm just so disgusting that no one wants to see me in a video and that they can't even look at me.
And these things are not talked about enough anymore. We have so much rubbish, just so much rubbish online. It's just insane to me. See, for me, I can go offline and I can forget about everything I've just read in the last hour because I have a real life that I'm living. My life, it doesn't exist online. What you see online is just moments in time. But that isn't my quote unquote life. But for some people, I've realized now, for real, online is their life. And that's terrifying. So when people are talking about uploading themselves to the metaverse, they mean it, because for them, online is where they live their life. And I just think that's insane. I really do. I don't think there's anything healthy or normal about it. But it's just the time that we live in. For me, if you still have a conscious mind of your own, if you still seek truth, please try God. And please nurture your real life connections, relationships, your real life habits. Forget about for a second what it looks like online and start worrying about what it really is in real life. What does it mean? You are here. You're a living being. You're not an avatar. You're not a Bitmoji. You are a real living, breathing person in this time in the world. So why not try and figure out what it is that you're supposed to be doing at this time in the world, instead of fixating and focusing on Hallie not announcing her pregnancy. Bruh. Bringing it back to weight. Stop letting people dictate what you look like. Even the way people run, as soon as they put on weight, they say, oh, I'm going to go and get a tummy tuck. Oh, I'm going to go and get a breast lift. Oh, I'm going to go and get this. As soon as somebody has a baby, oh yeah, I need to go get my breast done now. Or I need to go and have the mummy makeover. Like, breathe. Where are you rushing to? So what if you're not size 2 tomorrow after giving birth? You've just done one of the most amazing things a human can do. Okay, yes, you put weight through the pandemic. Okay, now you've got a better job. Why is your first thing, okay, cool, I'm going to go and get a BBL. How about, I've always wanted to invest in this thing, or I wanted to buy a home, or I really wanted to bless a local school, or I really wanted to start this project. How about that be the focus? Why is your first thing, oh, just got my first whatever paycheck, let me go and get my BBL? Why? So people online can go, ooh. They're only going to forget about you next week because there's going to be somebody else who's got a BBL that they're going to go, ooh, at. Why is your first thing, I need people to like me? Why are you seeking that validation so much? These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves. Why are you seeking that validation so much? What happens when you get it? Does it just end there? Or tomorrow, is it going to be something else? And that's why, going back to what I was saying before, everything you do, even something like a weight loss journey or a weight gain journey, it needs to be centered on love. It might sound cringy, it might sound corny, it might sound silly, but it's just true. Because when it's centered on a love for you, a love and appreciation for what God has given you, you approach it with ease. You approach it with joy. You approach it with a genuine contentment for where you are now and an excitement for where you're going. You don't need to rush there because you know you're going to get there. But on your way there, oh, you're going to have a good time doing it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to even create new relationships and friendships. It's going to change your mindset. You're going to learn so many new things. It's going to be so enjoyable. But when you approach it from this angle of, I need people to see me in a certain way, you're already on the wrong foot. And that's a really dangerous slope. Too many women have died at the operating table. Too many. Too many. Getting these unnecessary surgeries. Unnecessary. And what always annoys me about people that go and get it done, especially influencers, is they always gas the thing. You can't tell them nothing when they're going to get their BBL once they've got it done. And they will lie straight in your face after getting the BBL, talking about, I worked out, this was my meal plan, da, 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 da. only to come and say 6 months later, a year later, I regret getting it done. It was the worst decision I ever made. It caused me so much health complications. I ended up having to get it removed. I ended up putting on more weight than before, etc., etc., etc. Worst case is some women never even get to tell you the story because they die. I'm in my late 20s and I'm discovering things for the first time and I am enjoying the process. I never really used to be one who used to do my makeup like that, wear wigs like that. I was always a very natural babe, but that's because I really didn't want to try anything new. One, I was scared. Two, I was too self-conscious because remember, I hated how I looked. So I always just stuck to what I knew when it came to my appearance. But you see, when you start having joy and love, even in my weight gain, I found new ways to feel beautiful. This is new territory for me. I should be freaking out. I should be like, oh my gosh, I've put on so much weight. I don't know what's wearing. None of my clothes are fitting me. Instead, I'm like, oh, okay, we've got kind of a new figure going on here. Okay, let's see how we're gonna make this work. Okay, yes, my head is a bit wider than before, but that's all right. I want to figure out a new hairstyle to make it, so I still look good. Okay, I can't do my makeup like before because, that was for a slim face. Now my face is filled out a little bit more. How do I do my makeup so it complements my current facial features? I'm having fun with it. Instead of condemning myself and beating myself, I'm having fun. Why? Because at the root, I love myself. And I have a genuine love and appreciation for who God has made me to be. And that's not an easy journey to get to. So I don't even want to undermine the fact of how hard it is to go from self-loathing to self-love. It is actually something that takes immense work, but you have to be committed to that journey. So rather than being committed to bashing yourself and beating yourself up and allowing everybody's opinion to have weight and effect on you, how about saying, I'm going to not listen to those people. And I'm going to start feeding myself with things that are going to encourage me and uplift me as I learn how to talk to myself again, as I learn how to look after myself again, as I now try to take on this new project or challenge of losing or putting on weight. Why not make a commitment to that? And depending on the severity of this for you, maybe therapy is what you need, counseling is what you need. And there's nothing wrong if that's the case. If counseling is what you need, then you need to do what you need to do, sis. Don't worry about it. If it's psychotherapy that you need, don't worry about it, sis. Go and do it. What matters is that you are approaching this journey with love, tenderness, care, compassion, kindness to yourself. It's so easy to see the world as grey when you feel grey, when you feel grey, when you feel slighted, when you feel bitter, when you feel resentful, when you feel rejected, when you feel disappointed. But you see, when you know that you are accepted, you are loved, you are cared for, you are valuable, you can't approach life the same. You can't approach anything you do the same. Even how you show up for work. You could have the most annoying manager, but every time you see that manager, you say, God bless you. God bless you. And you can go on about your day. Sometimes in order for you to move forward, you're going to have to say goodbye to certain things. Maybe in order for you to really be able to take on this new journey of weight loss or weight gain, you're going to have to say, you know what, friends? We drink too much. And if we can't slow down the drinking to support me, I'm going to have to stop hanging out with you for a little while because I've got this goal to achieve. And so even when they keep coming back, oh, come on, sis, it's just one drink. It's just one night. Okay, promise we won't. You're going to say, you know what? I love you guys, but respectfully, no. I love myself now. And I want to continue exercising this love that I have for myself by committing to this goal. And if they love you, they'll understand. It'll be annoying at first. They'll miss you, of course. They're your friends and they're used to having your company, but they'll get over it because they'll understand. And if anything, they might even join you. They might say, you know what, let's make it a group thing. And if you get that, woohoo. But even if you don't, doesn't matter. You have to say, you know what, Mom, I love you. I love you to bits. And I know you mean well, but I can't listen to this anymore. So as long as you keep talking to me like this, we're not going to have a relationship. At least not for this part of my journey, because I love myself and I want to commit to this. It might be your partner giving you pressure. You might say, you know what, babe, I love you, but at the end of the day, if you don't want this for me, if you can't see how much this means to me, then I'm going to have to just push you to the side for a little minute. And if that's somebody that really loves you, they're going to say, you know what, I may not be happy with your decision, but I can still support you because I love you and I want to see you happy and healthier. I want to see you achieve your goal. Or you might come to find out this person really isn't even your person. And this might be what you needed to actually end that situation altogether. So don't be disheartened because you might not get that loud support that you were hoping for from the people that you love and consider near and dear to you. Whether they support you or not doesn't actually matter. What matters most is, do you support you? Do you care enough about you to make this decision for you in spite of what it means to everybody else, or in spite of what it looks like to everybody else? Hopefully your answer to all of those things is yes, which in that case means you're going to be successful in what you're trying to achieve. But if your answer is still a bit gray, doesn't mean that your answer can't be successful. It doesn't mean that you won't be successful. It just means it might take you a little bit longer. And it just means you might have a little more things to work through. But again, you don't have to work through alone. This is why some people like to join things like Weight Watchers class, because you're in a room of people who are on a similar journey to you. So there's no judgment, and it kind of eases the pressure a little bit while you're trying to work on that inner dialogue. And then better yet, you have somebody that is helping you keep track of what you're doing. And you get little rewards for it as you go along. So it kind of incentivizes it as well for you. So don't feel like you have to do it alone. There are actually, support groups for these kind of things. Okay, guys, that's all from me today. This has been another installment of Let's Talk. Like I said, I'm here every single Friday with a new topic, and we're going to get unfiltered. We're going to keep it real but respectful. And I just want to open up discussions about things, like I said, that we sometimes might find a little bit uncomfortable, or that people just don't want to talk about anymore because it doesn't get clicks and views. So, and don't forget to make sure that you hit that thumbs up, the subscribe button, and that notification bell to be notified when I upload next Friday and the Fridays after that. It's been your girl here, A to B, and I'm signing out. Until next time. Bye.